Oh, it's on?
All right, do it. All right, that's better. Sorry. So again, same about what happened with the Berman Park. So a few meetings ago, we were able to discuss the different phases we've been doing in Berman Park. And tonight it's kind of a perfect segue because tonight we're going to talk and open to about the public comment period, or public comments for Berman Park, excuse me, for the open space grant. The open space grant is a matching grant offered by Monmouth County, 50%. So, next slide. So just to discuss, I hope everyone, or I'm sure everyone knows where Berman Park is, but it sits in between the railroad and Marjoram Avenue. You have accesses from 18th Avenue to 22nd Avenue. And currently, if anyone hasn't been out there, I hope you guys, you all will go out there. There's been a lot of improvements, and there's a lot more improvements coming. Maybe if you go to the next slide. So just to discuss a little bit about what it is, again, where it's located, we have a walking path, baseball, soccer fields, dog park, playground, and most pickleball courts from which you're going to come. For this project scope, for the open space, we're talking about doing more sidewalks, continuing the path, rehabbing the roof structure on the snack shack, and chain link fences, I'm sure the residents would like to hear, along as a buffer. So as you see in this slide, Drew and the DPW have done a great job of taking out the vegetation that has been along there, but due to that vegetation, it really has destroyed the fencing. So we have proposed to have a higher fence, currently it's 6 foot, a higher fence and some proposed landscaping just to act as a buffer from the park to the residents that are along that park. Next slide, please. So nothing has been set in stone yet, but both of these are non-invasive shrubs. There is drainage that runs along that fence, but these root system will go 18 inches to 24 inches, really nothing too invasive. They're low-lying, so it shouldn't be a problem. It is something that has to be finalized, but that'll come. The snack shack is actually in pretty good shape. However, we do want to do the roof, and this would be a part of this application as well. Next slide, please. Along with this application, we'll be doing picnic tables. Those aren't the exact picnic tables, but picnic tables and benches, along with concrete foundation underneath, just to make it easier for DPW maintenance and if it's raining for people to sit and utilize. Next slide, please. To continue, so these are current pictures. So if you haven't gone out, again, please do. The playground is being completed. The path has been completed partially up to the T-ball field right now. Part of this application will be to finalize that path. Continuing just improvements to the park really help bring, I think, the community together. Especially it's an area that has a lot of space and a lot of green space that has been a little underutilized in the past, in my opinion. And doing these improvements really help. Next slide, please. This is just our estimate. So again, the Monmouth County open space is matching. So for those that don't know, that means that anything that the county will provide in funds, the borough will have to match. So it's just a nice way of putting good faith. Next slide, please. Timeline, we would hope to get this out, complete it by, it says August. August still is realistic, but we could say fall of 25, the end of the summer, have everything planted, and then that will allow us to have a good growth season. Next slide, please. These are just previous projects that we've done. If you've seen the walking path along Lake Como, that include the walking path, benches, and landscaping. That was a previously funded project in 2020. Next slide, please. Just more pictures of that. More improvements that we've done. This is not Monmouth County open space, but this is actually a good plug. We've done irrigation and grading that came from the Mayor's Bash. Mayor's Bash will be July 18th, so anyone that can go, it really is. Oh, I'm serious, it really is. No, it really is. Yeah. This shows exactly where that money goes.
Well done, Sam.
Yeah. So I hope that anyone that can go will be there. But so there's more improvements to come. Like I said, grading, irrigation. A big problem if you've ever been out, any of the residents or mayor and council, if it's raining, all of that water that had collected is now going out to the Polypod Brook, which is taking water off of 22nd, and that's just good for the residents and if, functionality of the park. Next slide, please. Berman Park, you've already seen this, but the playground was just this last year's CDBG. We are going for another CDBG application this year to continue the improvements, but that included the playground and the walking path. Next slide, please. That will be it. So just a little thing I didn't harp on. A few meetings ago, we talked about the soccer field improvements. We're looking to do pickleball improvements and to continue the dog park. So if there's any questions, I would love to take any questions.
Any questions from the council? Comments, anything?
Looks great. It really does.
Drew, you want to add anything?
I do. So, Sam explained that we had some issues down there with drainage. So through a grant that Samantha, our CFO, put together, we actually did quite a bit of work down there in the baseball field, as well as the drainage issue that we had on Marjoram and 22nd, which was repeatedly flooding over the last couple of years, that we were able to address. Did a lot of work down there outside the grant we already received for the park. And the dugouts, we just took DPW, were able to disassemble the dugouts, get rid of them this past week. So we're moving forward, and it's multiple phases. And I wish I could look fast forward in 3 years, but it's coming along. Thank you.
So realistically, if the fundings continue, I think the idea of Berman Park in a whole will be pretty much complete, aside from beautification and landscaping and stuff like that. But it's coming together.
So we did have a conversation a little while ago about the buffer between the park and the residents.
Sure.
It looks like we're settling on a chain link fence and planting.
So,
We had talked about a different type of fence, possibly.
so we looked at multiple different types of fence, sound barriers and whatnot. The expense and the reliability for long term just wasn't there. So we kind of went back to the chain link fence is a barrier, but we're focusing in on landscaping as a buffer. We actually moved the path about 15 feet away from the residents, so we can get sufficient enough room down there for landscaping. Where if you live on the east side or west side of Markham Avenue, you would be looking right into the park, and it would help with the sound barrier as well.
But it's also something that we can add in the future if we need it.
Certainly.
Are we able to have conversations with the Environmental Commission to make sure that we're planting the right appropriate?
So I already had a conversation with the Environmental Commission, but there's future conversations to be had.
And just to add, nothing is set in stone necessarily. You can alter from the plans with the funding as long as you stay in the same scope. So the scope would be buffer. So if you decided, hey, we'd like to do the slats in a fence or different type of landscaping, that could be changed.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Sam. At this time, I'll open up to anyone from the public who wants to come up and maybe have questions or comments about the workshop item or the presentation we just saw. Okay, seeing none, I will close the public portion of the workshop item or the workshop agenda. And at this time, I will call to order the regular meeting of the Lake Como Mayor and Council. Please rise for a salute to the flag and a moment of silent reflection. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Please keep in your thoughts the family of Charlotte Napa, who passed away on July 11th. Charlotte was a resident of Lake Como and South Belmar, passed away at 98 years old. She was a former tax collector here in the borough, member of our Board of Education, and was the clerk for the Monmouth County Sheriff. Thank you. Sunshine Law, please.
Which resolution of time and place of agenda and regular meetings commence with January 2nd or set forth. Notice the same is delivered to the Asbury Park Press, the Co-Star, and Tap Into, and a copy of the notice is posted on the Borough website and on the bulletin board in Borough Hall. All meetings are open to the public.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Councilman Witty is not here tonight. Councilman Skull.
Here.
Councilman D'Antuono.
Here.
Councilman DeLauro is not here tonight. Councilman Ventris.
Here.
Councilwoman Abalado.
Here.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 21st regular meeting?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 3rd 100th anniversary commemorative and regular meeting? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no abstentions, everyone was there, unless you want to abstain. We have two items under communications. The first, we have a letter from the Belmar Historical Society that is in your packet. Amy, if you would be so kind.
Dear Mayor Kevin Higgins and council members of the Borough of Lake Como, officers, trustees, and members of the Belmar Historical Society, send congratulations to our neighbors in Lake Como on the celebration of your 100th anniversary. We hope you enjoy this year as you look back at the very start of your town and all the proud history you have accomplished. Our seaside communities have much in common, including the wonderful volunteers that add so much richness to life in our small towns. We may be small in size, but we are huge in the history of the development of the Jersey Shore. So we wish you a very special 100th birthday and many more happy years to come. And signed, Spencer Hewitt, the president of the Belmar Historical Society.
Thank you, that was very nice. Appreciate it. Thank you. And we also have a presentation from members of the Jersey Shore Running Club. If you want to come up and let us know who you are and what you're here for.
Sure. My name is Vicky Charatola. I was the race director of the Lake Como Spring Break 5K that took place on April 27th. We raised a lot of money for our beneficiaries, and we were going to present a $1,000 check to Lake Como Recreation and a $1,000 check to Green Tree.
That's very nice, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna, Amy's gonna take a picture. No, that's good.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Just very quickly, I just want to thank you, and thank you to the Jersey Shore Running Club for all that they do for Lake Como. We know we host a number of events for Jersey Shore Running Club in the town, and they do everything they can to give back to our town and the citizens and the kids of our town. So thank you very much for everything you do. They are hosting, or they're running the Lake Como 100th Anniversary 5K, which is on the 21st of September, same day as our Lake Como Day. And just in case there's anybody in the audience that may want to put in a sponsorship for that run, there's sponsorship forms on the back table. I don't know how they got there, but they got there. So if anybody wanted to look at that on the way out, that would be nice. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll move to reports of committee, starting with Councilwoman Abalado.
Thank you, Mayor. All matters are in order.
Thank you, Councilman Ventris.
Thank you, Mayor. All matters are in order.
Councilman D'Antuono.
Thank you, Mayor. All matters are in order.
Councilwoman Skull.
Thank you, Mayor. All matters are in order.
Ooh, look at that. All right, well, I have some things I need to say. I want to first, by taking a minute to congratulate our former interim borough clerk, Miss Amy Boney, as she gets embarrassed at the end of the days here. If you look at your agenda tonight, Amy is going to be, hopefully, appointed as our full-time borough clerk. This is a position that she has held for the last 2 years as our interim borough clerk, and she's worked very hard, and she has been very successful in her studies, in her testing, and all of the stress is gone from all of that. She's passed her test, and the council is going to appoint her tonight as the borough clerk. This is your first job, I believe, right? Your only job when you came to Lake Como. So you are, part of the fabric of this town. We are very happy that you are here. We are very happy that you remain here. And we are very happy that you keep this little family together. So thank you very much and congratulations. We did do a quick update on Behrman Park. If you have not been up there, please go check it out. And if you haven't really figured out what we're doing up there, we are working on several steps and several phases of improving that park. We have updated the playground. We are installing pickleball courts. We are moving the old T-ball field over a little bit and turning that into a dog park. We are increasing the size of the soccer field, and we are redoing the baseball field that is down there. So we are putting a lot of work into that through the town. I want to thank all of those who have a hand in that. It's coming along. It's going to be beautiful, and like Drew says, in 3 years down the line, I can't wait to see what it looks like. With that, the Mayor's Bash is on July 8th. We raised a lot of money at that Mayor's Bash to benefit, July 18th. We do raise a lot of money at that benefit for Behrman Park for the town recreation. There are posters on the back there with date and time and all of the information that you need if you would like to take one with you on your way out. And there's also information on the 100th anniversary 5K and Lake Como Day as well. We are moving along with the updated Borough Hall. If you have noticed, we have raised the structure of the old First Aid building on 18th Avenue, and we are planning to relocate the Borough Hall there at some point. We are currently in architectural planning stages of that, and we should be getting updates on those regularly as we move through the summer and the spring. For those of you that don't know, our town has started a street sweeping program. We have partnered with the county to have one of their street sweepers come into town the first and third Wednesday of the month. It's the Wednesday after our council meetings. We have not instituted any type of ordinance to remove cars from the street during that time because we know how difficult it is to remove cars. But we want to spread the word and ask our residents to, if they can, move their cars off of the street so the street sweeper can come through. Once the street sweeper comes through, you can put your cars back. But if you can get them off the street so you can move them to different parts of the areas, that would be great. The one thing we don't want to see is a car that's parked in the same spot every day, and that part of the street just never gets swept or cleaned. So thank you for that. And then our next Coffee with the Mayor is July 20th. We had a very well-attended and successful Coffee with the Mayor last Saturday, and I'm looking forward to Coffee with the Mayor in July. So thank you all very much for all of those things that you do. With that, I will ask for a motion to open for public comments on new business and the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to comment or question anything listed under new business? The ABC board hearing will have its own open public session, so if you would like to talk about anything under new business, we can do that now. Seeing none, take a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Under new business, we have ordinance 2024-7 offered by Councilman D'Antuono.
Thank you, Mayor. Sol offered ordinance 2024-07. This is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. As I mentioned at the last meeting, this is a bit of a housekeeping item we do every year in connection with the budget process to provide additional flexibility in future budget years if necessary.
Thank you. This is a second reading and public hearing, so at this time I will open to anyone from the public that has specific questions on this ordinance. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion, and if anybody has a second,
Second.
roll call please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
D'Antuono?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Cavalla?
Yes.
Thank you. And resolution 2024-89 offered by Councilwoman Scott.
Thank you, Mayor. Can I borrow this? I just did something strange to my screen. I apologize. So it's okay. All right, so so before I read this very important resolution, I just wanted to say thank you to Amy Boney, who is getting appointed as, who we're vote on if she's appointed as our municipal clerk tonight. So I couldn't be reading this without, or offering this without saying a few words. So I've worked with Amy for a long time now. I've been on council for, this is my 10th year, and I've been working with the town on committees for longer than that. And Amy has been here all that time, and she has been a total joy to work with. Just really she has such a good vision for this town. She runs our tourism meetings so beautifully. She and I have worked together on Lake Como Day, the Christmas tree lighting for years, and she just had this beautiful vision for Small Business Saturday that we implemented this year. Really, it was all her. She clearly has this town's best interest at heart. She's been the liaison to Mommy and Me. These are just the things I'm thinking of off the top of my head. She does so much more. But she's been supportive. She's a pleasure to work with, and we're just so proud of you, Amy. So congratulations. All right, without further ado, so offered resolution 2024-89, appointment of municipal clerk for the borough of Lake Como. Whereas in accordance with NJSA 40A:9-133, every municipality in the state of New Jersey is required to have a municipal clerk. And whereas Amy L. Boney, who has been serving in the capacity of acting borough clerk since April 1st, 2022, has successfully obtained her registered municipal clerk certification and meets the qualifications and has agreed to perform the duties of the position of municipal clerk. And now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the borough of Lake Como that Amy L. Boney, RMC, is hereby appointed as municipal clerk for the borough of Lake Como for a 3-year term commencing June 18th, 2024.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
Antoine?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Carbone?
Yes.
Congratulations. Resolution 2024-90, offered by Councilwoman Albala Doyle.
Thank you, Mayor. So offering municipal resolution 2024-90. This is the resolution for the municipal open space program that we were referring to in the presentation from Sam Mavakian. The Borough of Lake Como desires to obtain a county open space trust fund in the amount of $130,000 to fund Behrman Park improvements. And the total cost of the project, including all matching funds, is $260,000.
Thank you. Just to be specific, we know that this is a matching grant.
Yes.
Right? Just the $130,000 will come from the grant, another $130,000 will come from the town. Any questions from the council? Seeing none, I'll take a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
Antoine?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Carbone?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-91, offered by Councilman D'Antuono.
Thank you, Mayor. So offered resolution 2024-91. This is a resolution authorizing final change order number 2 and final closeout payment for Behrman Park playground improvements under the fiscal year 2023 Community Development Block Grant. Change order is modifying the total value of the contract with Precise Construction to $171,925.
Any questions from the council? Have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
Antoine?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Carbone?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-92, offered by Councilman Ventries.
Thank you, Mayor. So offered resolution 2024-92, a resolution of the Borough of Lake Como setting forth the salaries of certain Borough of Lake Como employees in accordance with the salary ranges established in ordinance 2022-979. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Lake Como that ordinance number 2022-979 established salary ranges for municipal employees, and in conformance with that ordinance, following salary guides shall be established for the calendar year 2024 for the following certain employees. The base salaries, together with longevity, that will be in effect as of January 1, 2024. Municipal clerk, $88,124.44. Director of Code Enforcement, $32,000. Salaries of the following borough employees paid on an hourly basis effective January 1, 2024 shall be the administrative casual employee, $22 an hour, and summer seasonal employee, $17.50 an hour.
Thank you. Just a comment too, because Council President Whitty is not here. These This resolution was vetted by the Finance Committee and sent to the council. Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
McMyer?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Cavalaga?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-93, offered by Councilwoman Scull.
Thank you, Mayor. So offered resolution 2024-93. Be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Lake Como that the proper officers be directed and authorized to make payment from the following accounts. Current account 2024, $358,392.04. Water sewer account 2024, $162,112.64. General capital account, $9,787.50. Grant fund account, $206,392. Tourism account 2024, $1,483. 100th anniversary account, $836.18. And ACH wire payments 2024, $115,381.74 for a grand total of $854,385.10.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
McMyer?
Yes.
Ventries?
Yes.
Cavalaga?
Yes.
Thank you. Before we move on, just a note for the record, I've been informed that Wednesday, tomorrow, is a county holiday. The sweeper will not be in town, but it will be here on Thursday. Thank you. For the record. At this time, I will open for public comments. Take a motion to open for public comments, sorry.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any member of the public wishing to comment at this time on any item whatsoever can do so now. You come to the mic, name, address.
Good evening, Brumsby, 504 18th Avenue, Lake Como. More questions than comments, actually. I'd like to understand a little bit about how 18th Avenue is patrolled by the police department. I am outside a lot. I seldom see a police car. As a case in point, last Friday, on the 7th of June, a car parked on the south side of 18th Avenue, heading west, and was parked there from 10 o'clock in the morning until I left for an appointment at 3. I came back at 4:30, and there was a ticket on it. So, I mean, there was a period of over 6 hours. Well, I don't even know if a police car came by to see it. But to me, that seemed much too long, and it's really indicative of what we've noticed, not only myself, but other neighbors have commented. We seldom see a police car on 18th Avenue, which has to be the second most used street in town, I would assume. So I'd like just to understand how often should we expect a patrol car, and what's the purpose of a patrol car? Sometimes they're just, I think, heading down, the Ocean Avenue, and not even slowing down to see if there's anything on 18th Avenue. I'd just like to understand that a little bit better.
Sure, and I'll comment, and then I'll ask the chief to comment. I'm not exactly sure if she would comment specifically on where police are at the time, but she could probably give an overview of what patrols are like. I know that before the summer, I had a conversation with the chief about increasing patrols, and my concern is not necessarily just 18th Avenue, but secondary and tertiary streets. I've actually gotten feedback from residents on what I would consider tertiary streets that they've seen more police than they have in the past.
That's where they're hiding.
Right, no, they're not hiding here. I know that in the summertime, what you should see more of, in my opinion, and again, I'll defer to the chief, is you should see more police on bicycles, especially on 18th Avenue specials, which I do.
That only one time have I seen that, and that was really during the weekend of Memorial Day.
Okay. I mean, I have seen them, and I know that you're there a lot more than I am. I do, and I know that there has been discussions about getting patrol out faster on a Friday night at 6 o'clock when cars are supposed to be moving. And we've had that conversation with the chief, and the chief has passed that on to patrols for the police department. And we've had that conversation. I believe, and I've gotten feedback that residents have seen more. I'm sorry that you haven't, but I'll ask the chief to make a brief comment on patrols and purpose of patrols, and if there is a time where you should see police officers as compared to others.
I can say most of our squads we have squads that patrol the areas. There's 3 or 4 officers in patrol vehicles during a 12-hour shift. They do two 12-hour shifts, 7A to 7B, 7B to 7A. You know, they're covering Belmar and Lake Como. So if there's only 3 guys on and they're going from call to call to call to call, you may not see them as much on 18th Avenue because they're responding to calls. They're not just driving around and that. Our numbers are down as far as our bicycle cops, our Class 2 officers. 3-4 years ago, we had about 30 on roster that were spread throughout the 2 towns. This year we have 14. So on a Friday and Saturday night, you're not seeing them as much because there's only 10 of them working at a time. So, I mean, they're out there. I pull the calls Monday morning. I can't tell you how many calls, how many times we're calling in vehicles on 18th Avenue and towing cars, to the point where the tow company can't keep up with us. So that's why you may see them sit there for a while, but they are out there doing their job.
Yeah, and the foot and bicycle units specifically Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be there. I can attest what Chief Scott just said with the summons is written out of that area, that they are in fact there. Passes are being made on that street, however, you guys are aware too. It's a difficult street to navigate in busier times, but they are there. At specific times or this or that, I could not tell you because patrols is an ever-moving thing.
I will say, one of the problems with patrol trucks is that the tickets are issued by the patrolmen all at once. They go down once every few hours and ticket everybody, which is fine, but that will create an artificial backlog for the tow company. So it's kind of what happens first. It just seems to me, just, you know, as an interested bystander listening, that you don't have enough manpower on the streets, particularly during the summer. I don't know if anybody's disagreeing with me, but.
And I think the first person that's not going to disagree with you is the chief of police.
That's a nationwide problem. It's not in Lake Como, Belmar. That's in every aspect of every kind of employment, but specifically law enforcement.
I understand it in other aspects of the employment numbers. However, is there anything short-term that you can do?
So I don't have an answer for you. I don't have a magic answer to solve the problem. We have seen a downtrend in people looking for employment in a lot of different areas. Law enforcement being one of the major ones. I believe, and you can correct me, Chief, I believe we've seen an increase since COVID. I think we saw a major downturn after COVID. And I'm talking summer. I'm talking specials. I'm talking summer employment. I believe we've seen a little bit of an increase since then. So my answer would be time. I think the latest reports that you hear nationally for people looking for, young people in particular, looking for employment has increased. I think we've all known that after COVID, where you see a lot of people thinking they're just going to work from home for the rest of their lives, that really hasn't panned out for a lot of them. So you see a lot of people joining the workforce again. We can get into a societal discussion about why people aren't joining law enforcement, why people aren't joining law enforcement in the state of New Jersey as compared to other states. But I don't think this is the venue for that conversation. I can tell you that I've reached out to the chief with those concerns. I had somebody come up to me the other day and wanted to, oh, was that coffee with the mayor? And a gentleman asked me what the differential was between the time a ticket is written and the time that the tow truck picks up the car. And I've said, I've sat on somebody's front porch and watched it happen immediately, where a ticket's written and a car gets pulled away, and they'll take 2 cars at a time, some of those trucks. And then I've seen where there's a car that sits there with a ticket for a couple hours because tow trucks aren't available. So it's really,
It's writing the ticket.
yeah.
That is the limiting factor. I haven't, the tow trucks come quickly.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. No discussion about that. But I guess from my viewpoint, forgetting the macro look, we're looking at Lake Como during the summer for 10 weeks of needing more support. When I asked if there's an alternative, there are a lot of young people that with some type of training, I think you could hire just for the summer.
So we do have that program, but they're just not applying for the positions. There are a lot of young people out there that we can hire for the summer with certain trainings. They're special police officers. They don't have weapons, correct? Is that a class 1? Class 2s. And they have certain law enforcement powers, but the numbers of young people that are applying for those positions aren't there yet.
I'm gonna have to get my 8 grandchildren out. It seems like you don't want to trust me. Thank you for that understanding. Just 2 more quick questions. Do we have an ordinance about trucks, or even cars for that matter, leaving, staying without turning them off, running on the street?
Idling?
Yes.
There is, I believe, a statewide. There's a statewide. I believe it's a 15-minute. You can't idle for more than 15 minutes. I believe that is a statewide.
Okay. I mean, sometimes it's 15 minutes when it's parked in front of your house, and you have the windows and screen doors open, a diesel truck. As they run in to get liquor in the store, it can be a long time.
That's a big liquor bill if they're in there for 15 minutes.
No, I'm saying, but 15 minutes, I'm saying. Is it?
Have you been looking at my liquor bills? No.
What kind of truck do you have?
So I'll take a look at that. Don't quote me on the 15 minutes. I think it's 15 minutes, but I could be wrong. But I'll take a look at it.
I'm not sure if this 7-Eleven or somewhere where I was, might have been a Wawa, that had do not, you can't leave it idling your vehicle as you go into the store. I mean, to me, that would seem to make sense. Maybe in a municipality having their own ordinance.
We can look into it.
But I think the fumes from the diesel trucks that are left idling, legally parked in front of our house, can be rather overwhelming at times. One other quick comment, on Parkway, there seems to be just recently, over the past couple of weeks, 2 large commercial vehicles parked on Parkway that are halfway up onto the sidewalk, because they're too large to, park otherwise. But they're right on the grass, and they're right at the end of Parkway. And these are new vehicles, I haven't seen them before, but they're there overnight, 7 days a week now. Don't know if that's permitted?
It's not, well, the council recently passed a prohibition for commercial vehicles and vehicles of a certain size to be parked overnight. So I'll ask the chief to have patrols look at that.
But it's again, I don't know what the size is, but the fact that they're actually halfway up around the Grants Meridian, right next to each other as well, so I don't know if there's any commonality in that, but it's a brand new phenomena that's happened in about 2 weeks.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, the council will be sitting as the Alcohol Beverage Control Board, Local Control Board, hearing resolutions to renew liquor licenses. At this time, we will attend to Resolution 2024-94, Fahey Hospitality Group trading as Joe's Surf Shack. Do we have a representative? Please come to the mic and your name and address.
First and foremost, congrats, Amy. Well deserved. Well deserved. My name is Bob Fahey, 649 Holly Hill Drive in Brio.
Thank you. You've received the resolution, the new resolution? You have not?
Nothing changed from last year?
Oh, okay. You don't get it because anything changed. All right. Do you have any questions or comments from what you had on your resolution from last year?
No, sir.
Two questions. Number 7 with the litter pickup. Just want to remind your people that it's every day. I know that we had a conversation at one point, they were doing it like Mondays and Fridays, but we need to have it every day.
Yep.
I don't know if you've received any, I know you've been working with your neighbors with any issues. Have you received any complaints about
No.
noise or anything like that? Chief, do we have any complaints for Joe's?
So, we ran a report from January 1st of 2023 to June 3rd of 2024. In that time frame, there was 59 calls for Joe's, stemming from false IDs, which are multiple summonses issues with that, some disorderly persons, one noise call, several EMS calls, but other than that.
So one call for noise. So it seems like for the other calls, they're making the call or someone's making the call
Or either
for
self-initiated
assistance.
or
They're
dispatch.
usually proactive.
All right. Any questions from the council? Any questions or comments, anything you want to change? Okay. At this time, I will open to the public if anybody wants to be heard or comment on this resolution. Specifically this resolution, come to the mic. All right. Seeing none, I'll take a motion from the council to approve resolution 2024-94.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Fahey. Yes, it's a great day. The next resolution is 2024-95. This is Stacy 5-Star trading as La Sierra Restaurant. Just in case anybody doesn't know, La Sierra is the business of the year this year for Lake Como, so congratulations. Is there any changes, Amy, to this? There's none. Okay, so you are aware of the license and the conditions on your license? All right, do you have any questions or comments as far as changes for your license? All right, issues, no issues with that? Okay. Chief, do we have any considerations for La Sierra?
The same time frame as Joe's, and there was 8 calls there, none dealing with quality of life issues.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the council? At this time, I'll open to the public for anybody that has questions or comments for this resolution. Seeing none, I'll close, and I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2024-95.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
Diek-Morn?
Yes.
Andrews?
Yes.
Modell? DeWitt?
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. You got one more left. Resolution 2024-96. This is the license that you have, quote unquote, in pocket.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with this license, we have a special ruling 12.39 from the state in where they have to verify that your license is in pocket and give you permission really to hold that license for another term. We did check with the state, Amy, and they responded that everything is in order, correct?
That's good to go.
All right. Any questions or comments on this specific license?
No, sir. We're just trying to look at every avenue just to sell it.
Okay. And I know that you have it out for sale, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the council? Chief, you have no concerns with this, right? Drew, any concerns for the in-pocket license?
No.
Thank you. I'll open it up to anyone from the public on this resolution. Seeing none, I'll close, and I'll ask for a motion to approve Resolution 2024-96.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Small,
Yes.
Stefano,
Yes.
Ventures,
Yes.
Cavalaga.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a great night. Thank you, Mr. Marikwood. Take care. All right, we have Resolution 2024-97, Alatory Inc., trading as bar anticipation.
Good evening. Amy, congratulations. It's great to have you. Well, been here a long time, so.
I just need your name for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry. Reginald Hyde at 1730 Belmar Boulevard in Wall Township.
Thank you. Do you have any changes to this resolution? No? Reg, you know the resolution and conditions on the license. Do you have any questions or comments?
Not this time.
Chief, do we have any?
Just, it's the same time period. There was 262 calls. 174 of them were self-initiated for false IDs, emergency medical services, and there was 11 noise calls.
Just for the record, you know the restrictions on the license about noise, about amplification after a certain time outside, what's in there.
Yes.
And I know that if the police come with an issue of noise, that you can be responsive and you can make whatever changes you need to.
Sure. We did have a little tweaking issue to start the season, and this time of year, usually when people have their windows open, and it's the first couple weeks of the season, with a couple of new techs, but management and the techs have it under control now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions from the council? Are you still doing the litter patrol, right?
Yes.
I know you do a lot, and I haven't seen them out, that's why I was just asking.
Yeah, they're all out of school now. We're getting out of school now, so it's been a kind of a, sporadic as far as our guys being able to get out there, but they're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Questions from the council, I'm sorry. No, at this time, I'll open for public comment or question on this. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. And I will entertain a resolution to approve Resolution 2024-97.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Small,
Yes.
Stefano,
Yes.
Ventures,
Yes.
Cavalaga.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
All right.
Resolution 2024-98, Diley Corporation, trading as Weinstein Liquors.
Sean 1, and then all 4 candidates.
Thank you, Mr. Wan. This is this is Weinstein Liquors. There's no changes to this license, so you understand the conditions that are on it. Chief, do we have any issues with this resolution? Any questions from the council? Open up to public. Any questions from the public on this resolution? Seeing none, I'll close. Can I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-98?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Small,
Yes.
Stefano,
Yes.
Ventures,
Yes.
Cavalaga.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-99, this is the Lake Como Wine Shop, same applicant. Is the wine shop open? Is it open for business, or is it temporarily closed? Okay, that doesn't affect the license in any way, right, if they're temporarily closed? Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. I think the license is still the same. I just want to ensure that you are continuing with the litter patrol, even though that the establishment is closed? All right, appreciate it. Any issues, Chief? All right, questions from the council? All right, open it to the public. Anyone have an issue with this resolution? Or a question for this resolution, I'm sorry. Seeing none, I'll close. And I will entertain a resolution to approve Resolution 2024-99.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Small,
Yes.
Stefano,
Yes.
Ventures,
Yes.
Cavalaga.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. Thank you. Resolution 2024-100. This is Grand 2, Inc., trading as Discount Wine and Liquors.
241-271.
Thank you, Kit. This is the same resolution from last year. Any questions, considerations? Chief, any questions? We had a resident before talking about cars idling out, right? And it's obvious that the person lives next to your establishment. Would you consider possibly maybe putting a sign either in your liquor store or on the door asking cars not to idle while they wait?
Okay.
All right, we would appreciate that. All right, that would be really, really good. Thank you very much. Any questions from the council? No? Any questions? I'll open it up to the public. Any questions for the public? All right, seeing none. Chief, did I ask you if there was any issues? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, no, all right, thank you. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2024-100.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stoll?
Yes.
Letourneau?
Yes.
Davies?
Yes.
Gallagher?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. All right, we have resolution 2024-101. This is Salty's Beach Bar. Sir, how are you?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. For the record, since you haven't seen me since last year, Samuel Real Jr., Elmer Conley, Castle, Williamsburg, New Jersey, on behalf of Salty's.
Thank you. Did you receive the new resolution?
We have received the new resolution. We worked with your solicitor's firm to resolve and revise certain language. We have a copy of the revision that we believe you have in your possession. We have no objections.
All right, no objections to the current resolution.
And by it, with its adoption, it will resolve our outstanding litigation issues, and that appeal will be resolved.
And I believe those are outlined in the first 4 paragraphs of that resolution?
The conditions that we see in the first 4 are the same as previously. The changes in this, the resolution of the litigation really appears in the resolution clauses by way of the licensing of the outdoor patio.
Okay.
That's on page 3 of the resolution.
Chief, you have a report for Salty's?
Yes, same time frame. There was 85 calls, either self-initiated or dispatched. 10 of them were emergency medical services and 48 were noise complaints.
I think the only understanding that I would ask for the owner is under number 2 about the doors, about having the doors closed at night when there is live bands. This is just a guess on my part, but I have received feedback that when those doors are open at night, then the noise is an issue. Other than that, I don't think that there's really much of a complaint.
No doubt when the doors are open, you'll get some transmission of noise.
Yeah.
I'll discuss it with them.
All right, I appreciate
I
it.
will remind them.
Any questions from the council? This time we'll open to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to comment, please come to the mic. Sure.
Can I hand you this, Mayor? The document is a petition on behalf of the group over here at 1713 through 1719. And I'd like to read it aloud. There's a number of people who have signed it. I think there's about 22 in total representing the villas of Lake Como. These 2 gentlemen are here with me from the villas. And I'd like to read this out loud if I could. Mayor Higgins, ABC Board, Lake Como Town Council. We, the undersigned residents of the villas of Lake Como, are writing to formally lodge a complaint regarding the excessive noise levels emanating from Salty's Beach Bar located at 1705 Main Street. This ongoing issue is significantly impacting our quality of lives. We urge the appropriate authorities to take immediate action to address our concerns. Salty's Beach Bar has been a source of continuous loud music, excessive motorcycle engines, excuse me, and patron noise, particularly during late evening and nighttime hours, in violation of noise restriction ordinance 315 of the Borough Code. Despite our repeated attempts to address this issue with the management of Salty's Beach Bar and the Belmar Police Department, there has been no noticeable improvement. The excessive noise disrupts our sleep, affects our daily activities, and has become a persistent nuisance. We understand that Salty's Beach Bar is a popular venue and contributes to the local economy. However, the current noise levels, we believe, are unacceptable and do not conform to the noise regulations set forth by Lake Como. We believe that a balance can be struck between the bar's operation and the peace and well-being of nearby residents. We kindly request the following measures be taken to mitigate the noise problem: to enforce noise ordinance 315, require Salty's Beach Bar to implement soundproofing measures to minimize the noise leakage, conduct regular noise level assessments to ensure compliance with local regulations, and establish a clear communication channel between residents and Salty's Beach Bar management to address future noise complaints properly. We trust that you will give this matter the attention it deserves and take the necessary actions to minimize the noise levels to an acceptable level. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. So I want to take the time to say thank you for addressing the issues. I understand you are addressing some of the issues, but I hope that you all realize how important it is to us. And it's not just one of us, it's not just us three. It's a majority of the people that live in those residences there. So if you address it, I really appreciate the chief, because I know that she's involved with the ABC, and to your group here, thank you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else at this time?
Hi, Tom Fox, across the street.
Just I need an address for the record.
1713 Main.
Thank you.
They're bad neighbors. They say what they do and they don't do what they are supposed to do. And I've been here 2 years and it doesn't stop, doesn't get better. They do what they want. They stay outside when they're supposed to be inside. And personally, I don't think I'm the only one that's affected by it, but they're not good neighbors at all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, at this time I'll close the public portion. Sir?
Well, noise is always an issue at a bar. Either served as a solicitor or representative of a bar in this state where noise hasn't been an issue in some form or other. I just asked your chief if she has on her department any certified, state certified noise officers, and apparently she doesn't at this point. And I don't know whether there are any in the mix. But I will say this, is that municipalities whose department or whose servicing agencies have certified officers are better equipped and are better handling noise issues coming out of bars. And I would urge you or the department, I know that you're serviced by Belmar, right, as the department, I would really urge them to try to get these certified officers, because it makes not only your job easier, their job easier, the neighbor's job easier, but also the licensee. Because you get the readings from the certified officers at the property lines, either of 65 decibels during the day or after 10 o'clock, 50 decibels, and you also get point of transmission. So you can identify where the issue is. We're mindful. I've had discussions with the licensee as it relates to noise. We talked earlier, Mayor, about the door. I will bring it up with them. People coming and going at a bar in the shore at the end of the night, there is going to be noise. I know last year we were here and we discussed posting of signs, and there are signs about not idling the cycles or revving motorcycles as they're leaving the property. There is certain limits as to what you can do in any business, whether it be a Wawa, 7-Eleven, a gas station, or a bar when people come and go. You've heard earlier tonight about an individual who was concerned because of idling diesels outside of a liquor store. It sort of goes with the territory, and it's something where everybody has to learn how to get along together. It is something mindful, but notwithstanding the fact you don't have certified officers, you do have the ability to have the officers do investigations. If there are noise violations, you have a noise ordinance. I don't know whether it's the model ordinance, solicitor. I don't know whether it is the model ordinance or not. You might want to look into, if you haven't adopted it, to actually adopt the state's model ordinance. It's pretty good. and then enforce it. You know, nobody is exempt from having the ordinances enforced, the state law enforced.
No, that's true. And I have a few comments to that. I think the first thing is that I will have a conversation with the chief about enforcing those restrictions or those conditions and those ordinances. I'll also ask our administrator to look into communicating with the county and the state to see if they have a certified noise officer that we could partner with or we could share services with, probably in more of a timely manner than training a police officer that we have. But we will also look into training a police officer for the long term.
There is, at this point, my recollection is correct, there is only one investigator at DCA who's their sound person.
Okay.
And I know that they just finished running a training course for officers, I guess, about 3 or 4 weeks ago in advance of the summer. So there are things out of it out there. And I, again, will reinforce with my client the conditions we've agreed to in the past and make sure they abide by it.
So I think something you said there kind of, when we talked about get along with each other, right? I think a lot of the testimony that we heard tonight was that the neighbors may or might be trying to get along or trying to ask, and then the feedback we're getting is that your client will say that they're going to do something and not do it. So I would just ask, what I'm asking to is in the conditions about having two well-established workers outside if a line forms, if there's people gathering, and trying to limit the amount of noise that they have outside the building. As
That
we've
is
already,
one of the conditions we have by way of having 2 people out in it.
Yes.
But also, Mayor, to your point, I will discuss with the licensee the fact that if neighbors are coming, to make sure that they have someone that they can speak to so that the staff know this. My client has not communicated to me that they've been approached by the neighbors. So I will go back, we'll reinforce, we'll discuss it, and we'll see if we can put some better controls internally in place to address the issues.
I did have a final point, but it has escaped me at this moment. Any questions or comments from the council?
Mayor, can I have a minute?
I'm sorry, I closed the public portion at this point.
Well, it's disingenuous for him to
Sir,
defend himself.
Sir, I'm gonna ask you to stop,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
fair enough.
I can see that you're looking at the ordinance right now. We did address the noise ordinance a few years ago, and I do believe it's a little bit more strict than the state ordinance, but don't quote me on that. But I will follow up with the chief and make sure that she is enforcing, or her patrols are enforcing what they need to enforce. I think it's a really good idea to identify someone on site at all times who is going to liaise with any neighbors or the police if they have a concern or a question. I have gotten feedback before, and I don't know, Captain, if you want to add to this about that when a police officer is on site, that they may have difficulties communicating with staff. Is that something that I've heard in the past that you know of?
In the past at this establishment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can he be more, can you be a little
We've
more
asked,
specific?
in the past, they've asked to speak with the owner and have been unavailable.
Okay, well, what time?
I can't.
Excuse me, Skip.
So if we can establish someone on point, whether it's a manager or someone in charge, I don't expect the owner to be there 24/7, but that it's communicated that someone should be there to liaise with either the police department or a neighbor if they have a concern. Okay. Anything else? Do you have anything that you want to add? Okay. So for the record, after our testimony or after our conversation on the record, you ensure that you will discuss with your client the conditions that are on the resolution.
Absolutely.
I do want to add, this is my point that I forgot to add, I'm sorry. I do remember that the signs that were added, the no idling signs, or the please don't rev your engine signs. I don't know, I haven't seen if they are still there. can you ask your client to make sure that they are still there?
I saw
And
when I
then-
went in tonight, we'll look
Okay.
again.
And just reinforce with their staff that is outside in the parking lot to reinforce that message to their patrons.
Absolutely, so everybody's.
Any other questions, comments? No, I'm gonna ask again? No? All right. At this time, I will ask for a resolution to approve. I will ask for a motion to approve Resolution 2024-101.
So moved.
Second? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
Dupont?
Yes.
Ventris?
Yes.
Cavaladoyle?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Resolution 2024-102, this is Matt Tav, trading as McCann's Tavern.
Congratulations, Dave. My name is William Evans. I live at 2702 Woolly Road in Lowell Township, New Jersey.
Your license and the conditions are the same as they were last year, correct? All right, so you have not received, do you have any concerns, questions, or issues with the license as it exists? I would like to establish, only because on your resolution, there are a couple of paragraphs about using the area in front of the building as outside dining. That was added a couple of years ago, and we update that every year. That has nothing to do with COVID regulations that went in, that's actually part of the license.
I understand.
If there are any other COVID areas in which you are serving or you are working, it's a conversation you have with the town. It's actually a conversation with the chief of police on what is allowed.
I understand that too. It's an application with the ABC and the police department.
Chief, any concerns or situations from this establishment?
No, they had 59 calls within that time period. There's only one voice call. The rest are either self-initiated or not quality of life issues.
Any questions from the council? This time I'll open to the public for comments or questions on this application. Seeing none, I will close. And I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2024-102.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Stahl?
Yes.
Dupont?
Yes.
Ventris?
Yes.
Cavaladoyle?
Yes.
Thank you. The resolution passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Next meeting?
The next regular meeting of the mayor and council will be held on Tuesday, July 2nd, immediately following 7:30 p.m. workshop meeting in the Lake Como meeting room. All meetings are open to public.
All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You're adjourned. Thank you.